Welcome to another episode of A Lovely Snack with Dr. Lovelee. I'm so happy today. I'm happy every day, but today I'm happy. Today I'm more happy because I've got a guest from Cape Town. You know, she was in town for work, and I was like, my friend, now you must come and talk to me here.
Yeah, pleasure, friend. Thank you, Loretta, for welcoming me. I always watch your podcast and I'm like, yo, can you go I guess? So I'm very excited that we're here now. And I think when we spoke about it, it was 2 weeks ago, and you said when you're in town. And when I had an impromptu meeting this side, I was like, we're doing this.
You know, it's like we spoke it into existence.
Whatever.
Because I didn't expect we'll be in town so quickly.
So soon. Yeah.
But anyway, I really should talk about WhatsApp. I know you since 1993. I did grow in height, not much, but I did. Go high school. Victoria High School for Girls.
Yes.
And that's when I met you, and then a 7. Yes. But I watched you about grade 9.
Grade 9.
So I think we've waxed and waned with life.
Yes.
No, we didn't. Lost contact, obviously, because it was not the time of cell phones and keeping the phone number. It was
social media.
Not really. What social media do we have? Because Facebook came when my first child was born.
Oh, yeah. 6. Yeah.
You know? So I think it was a thing of we had each other probably like landline number. And then because now you no longer call each other during school holidays or whatever. Then you just disappeared, university.
Yes.
We started lives, you know.
And we did, but you know, get a vivid memory before your first child was born. I think we did when you were still Komedunza.
Okay.
Somehow we did
bumped each other.
Yeah.
And then the next one was my kids. Ex-school, we had like this Founders Day thing, but you were there on
as a sponsor.
Yes,
I remember. You remember that?
I do. That's when I took your number.
Oh my word!
Yes.
So I think we lost contact, and then there is a common friend somewhere. Yes, common friend. I lost Larato's number, Kuba number, and yeah, we are here now.
And then you're here now. So now I think just this memory of going back home, it's amazing how people who are going to do life with you are going to do life with you.
No, true.
For whatever the reason.
No, it's absolutely
you know what I'm saying?
True,
yeah. And what I also remember, I can tell now when we were at school, parents knowing each other was a thing of, because the number of black kids was very little.
Yes.
Most of the black parents, especially in boarding school, knew of each other or knew each other. But I had a sense what our parents knew each other outside of that.
Yes, so our story is a little bit different.
They are one big family.
So we obviously in high school we had that Batswala vibe.
Yeah.
Because our parents, I think my dad was from Mphahlele.
Yes.
And your dad is in Mphahlele, and somehow they come from one community. I mean, some of your aunts, I call them my aunts.
So without even knowing what it
yes.
And you connect the dots later. Yes.
Absolutely. It's one of those things. But I think it's and that also kept the thing about I wonder about guy. You know. But we are here.
Whatever we still gonna speak about, but also because it's we're not on a podcast again.
Yes,
so we don't know how you also speak. So let's hope we don't speak for too long. Because we can get carried away.
No, we can, but when you're putting yourself in front of the camera, there's something that you want to actually. I always say we all have a story, and I'm hoping out of this, there'll be a story that someone says, actually, can really damo. Right. Oh, this actually changed my mind about something. Oh, I've learned something.
Recent thing we were talking about, and that actually said, when you come in from 2 trips, let's talk, was the fact that we grew up in an era that did not allow us or did not teach us to give ourselves permission to be who we want to be, to live life that we want to be. sort of the era of being prim and proper as a girl.
Yes.
You know, whether you're a firstborn girl or you're a sister amongst brothers, you know, as a girl, you were just, you expected to be prim and proper.
Yes.
Whatever the definition of prim and proper came as, whether it's looking after your siblings, whether the way they expect you to carry yourself, the way they expect you to expect what of yourself, and things like that.
And then this is how you carry yourself.
In our household,
this is how we do it.
So yeah, and when people see you, what will they say? What will people say? That whole prim and proper, what will people say? That's how we grew up.
Yeah.
And then we fast forward to where we are now and the challenges of unlearning those things and learning to be who we want to become, and how we sabotage ourselves.
Sure, Lerato. I think let's give our listeners a bit of insight to what prompted this. I share my age, it's public knowledge. 47, and 2-3 weeks ago, I felt so liberated for not having to box myself, because honestly, this prim and proper expectation that people have about a person, it's either how you carry yourself or what you wear. And sometimes it's the unspoken expectation. Nobody actually said, Lerato, this is what you must look like. And then somehow you felt, because I'm representing Kokechwang, I must look in a certain manner. And when you remove that box, and you're like, okay, let me free myself from this box. You are now at the surprise. And I get the surprise all the time. So 3 weeks ago, I found myself killing Mewadi Shorty or ACP. And it felt liberating because I've never done it. But after 3 weeks, I was like, on hindsight, how was that appropriate? And I actually contacted a lady, he's a psychologist, and I said, can I ask something quickly? What is this inner child? Why are the inner child is about to be sad, traumatized, and my inner child is the happy one? So maybe I will define these things, because sometimes we're thinking, we all have this traumatic experience, and based on that, this is, must be in a cocoon. And now I felt like I was in a cocoon and my inner child was crying out.
Bum shots.
Bum shots again. And not for anyone. For me. But I think maybe overthinking.
But that's exactly where the overthinking comes from. We're not overthinking because this thing is harmful to you.
Yes.
The overthinking comes from the fact that we were raised that way, to consider others and their opinion of us. And then the inner you, your soul wants to live a certain way. So it's always that constant back and forth fight. You feel and you know you want to do this way, but the voice of our upbringing makes you doubt. And then you end up thinking,
is this appropriate?
Exactly. And then you continue thinking about it instead of just listening to the first voice that you yourself gave yourself and was coming to say. So how are we going to navigate ourselves out of this self-sabotage and overthinking, the trenches of overthinking?
Yeah, you said something quite profound about unlearning. Remember now, we are here now, 47 years later, this is what you've learned. And now unlearning that and empowering yourself to say, okay, it's actually okay. I don't have to conform, and I don't want to spiritualize it. I can't now get spirit.
All of us are in a different ways.
Yes. So I don't want, because sometimes we always think, I can't not conform when it suits us. But in most cases, we go around conforming to what society expects of us. And I don't know if we are showing up authentically. And I mask every day.
How does that feel like? We know what it sort of looks like because we are saying it now. It's the thing of stopping yourself from doing things you want to do. But how old are you when and you are thinking about it? What does it feel like?
I think mask, man, and mask will be maybe that's why I'm unhappy. Really unhappy as a person. Because you are in this thing. Look, I guess because that's what you've learned. But now you are here trying to say, okay, dilemma, was this even correct? Was it even the right thing? But now you're living that that thing that you perceive for this is not actually how I want to live my life.
So you mentioned for then you end up really unhappy. So what it feels is that you're not happy with the way you're living because you know you're not showing up authentically for
yourself,
first and foremost.
For yourself. Maybe I don't really like the role of therapy in unlearning. I can see if you've got insight on that because I'm a big fan of therapy. But I also feel like, but the teacher appears when the learner is ready.
Absolutely.
Maybe it's the same concept in therapy. I don't know what is your view, Ga, therapy in the unlearning process.
So, in my line of work, in my line of, for the work that I'm doing, I was trained somewhere in psychology, psychiatry, all those things. And I have seen how it adds value in steps of healing for a lot of people, some not. Also because who's arriving at the time, is it a ready learner or not? So I do advocate, but then I also feel like the word therapy, people limit it to seeing a psychologist. There's many ways. Not being allowed to be a child. You are looking after people, you didn't be a child. Because in prim and proper, you can't explore another aspect of you, which is balancing the prim and proper. Like in life, no matter what you do, we are cold. There's heaters and fireplaces up in this house. Because it's winter.
Exactly.
Soon it's going to be summer. Why can't we apply the same principles to humans enduring life? Seasons come and go. The coin thing, two sides. I have never in my life seen a coin that has the same size both sides. So it's the same design both sides. Magnet south and north is two different poles. They pole differently. But as humans, we expect a person to have only the good, whatever they label as the good. So there's those stigmas down yourself because your upbringing dictates that because you grew up as the strongest man you know. Why are you going to ask a therapist for help?
Maybe you can be weak. You're not allowed.
All those things. I don't want to make a plan, I'm tired. I don't want to make plans anymore.
Giving up is not an option.
There comes in the stigma and the shame. When you went through a struggle, which other people before you have gone through, and many more after you will go through. But when you are going through it, it needs to be a secret. So which toolbox do you dig out of yourself that you did not learn from anybody to solve your problems? You're not allowed to go speak to somebody about it because people must not know. And then when you go to pay someone to help you, you are like, why I should know what to do.
Why can't you so? But tell me, does this now affect how we parent if we don't do the healing?
Absolutely.
But we see all these baggages on our kids, especially for now prim and proper, and we define it to be this is what prim and proper is like. And I think maybe let's check a definition here that's prim and proper. I'm starting to wonder
what does it mean?
What does it actually mean?
Yes. So it definitely will affect how we parent if we don't if we don't do two things. Well, do whatever we need to do to come to being self-aware of our own shortcomings. And I think for me, it boils down to, I know that this thing of growing up in a way that I was made to be everybody's caretaker. Not allowed to express myself as a child. That if I'm sitting down as a 4-year-old, I must cross my legs because people are going to see. I'm 4 years old, guys. I'm not even thinking. People are going to see between my legs. I'm playing.
Just a child.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, playing outside. Somebody was saying, hey, Prius, get down. But when we were playing Ngusha, I jumped. My skirt went up, so now I must always be. So it starts at a very early age where you are now being made to be self-aware. You must behave a certain way. You don't have a carefree mindset of a child. And then if you don't now heal that or just be aware of it, which is actually healing. That this is how I grew up. So when you catch yourself passing down that generational curse, whatever you want to call it, to your children, really, and I don't want to
I'm
be
not doing that.
And if you see yourself, you didn't want to do it, but you did it, go back to your kids and apologize. My child, I didn't know how to handle the situation.
Yeah.
I went back and I could see what I didn't like it as a child.
And then
more than that, I know it doesn't make me feel good, and I could see how you respond or react to it. So I don't manual. There's no manual here. Humble ourselves and apologize. And which black parents humble us and apologize? Which parents actually? Because I don't think it's a race thing.
I would not manual. I'll tell you. You know, when you were talking, I'm actually thinking, oh my word, I must go apologize to my kids because there's a saying that I always say. I think whatever you post, how you dress and you step out of this house, you are representing me. Can you see? Is that prim and proper?
You are saying to them what your parents say to you.
Hi, but I'm learning.
Isn't this part of the fact that we are becoming more aware? Even though we are not at the healing, we are not healed.
Yes.
Awareness. But the awareness goes a long way. And to even admit to yourself, I actually keep doing this. Before we spoke about it, you knew you were doing it, but it was not glaring at you how you are doing it. You know what I'm saying? But the manual is not going to come because even we didn't come with our manuals for our parents.
Even they didn't know what they were doing.
Exactly. And I think the part of the healing is acknowledging to ourselves that our parents didn't know what they were doing.
Yes.
And there are many scenarios and situations that happen when people grow up.
Yeah.
And without excusing blatant abuse and neglect,
yes,
we also have to forgive our parents for not knowing what they were doing.
They didn't know,
You know, there are situations where you can say, Mutu, okay, this child really suffered. You know, maybe you became aware of something, but you just relentlessly went on and on and on. So without, we're not saying what abuse is right.
Yes.
We're not saying what neglect is right. We're not saying that. But we're saying what more often than not, a lot of hurt can be avoided and can be healed when we say we forgive our parents for doing what the best they could with what they knew and had
at the time. But I want to check something. Is this forgiveness having to have a conversation? Because I think black people, without putting race to it, but I'll speak for my black people. I think let's have a conversation.
No, you're quite right. I think hard conversations are or division on saying whatever, then we're all just but those hard conversations are difficult to be had, right? So
forgiveness
I think you can start with yourself first, acknowledging to yourself already. I have held a grudge against my mother for the things she did when she didn't know what else to do.
But now grudge. We're not aware yet.
You're not aware yet. Grudge or whatever you want to call it. Or I've held this thing against. Exactly. To take this in case you need water. I've held this thing in me against this person. And then, what is it serving you? You could have a better relationship. You could have a better relationship with your parents, but you're not because.
On to this thing.
But they will know what I forgave them. It's okay, guys. And you know they're sitting when they're sitting, we don't know what they're thinking or feeling. And until somebody says something, you know, and it's one thing to sit and wonder. It's another thing to be scared of the rejection of what if I bring this up? And they're like, hi, what about today? Do this thing. So also, if you're going to approach somebody and be like,
be prepared for
whatever. Exactly. Don't go there with I expect them to say, Manaka, I've been waiting for you for 20 years to come and bring this topic to us because Linda, I've been feeling like I need to apologize. They might not do that. They might keep quiet. They might say thanks for bringing this up. Exactly. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we I don't know, it's a lot because new car models come as improvement on the previous ones. We are the improvement, or should be the improvement on our parents. And the new car models, when they come as improvements on the previous ones, nobody is saying, the car.
Nobody actually does.
Exactly. They just say, okay, we worked on this and we have a better prototype or whatever.
We're moving forward.
So it's very layered, it's very convoluted, it's very complicated. But I think it starts with the self, what you're feeling, what you want to do, and what boundaries you're going to say. Okay, I feel like I want to hear, not necessarily I'm sorry from your mother or your father, but I want to hear your side of the story. Like, how did you become? I remember one day I once asked my mother, why is it that, like, I understand you come from the era of corporal punishment.
Yes.
But there's times when I wondered, on shapela nna or on shapela other things. I actually asked it this.
Yeah.
And why is it that, let's say you want to give me the beating that you thought I deserved, which I never thought I deserved, but anyway.
Yes.
Why also with you why throw a mama what?
Why is one even though?
This is what my father used to do, was the answer I got. And I'm not saying this judging my grandfather and my mother. Do you know what I'm saying? So you do, if they were doing what they thought was best.
Now challenge, yeah. Corporal punishment is wrong.
Yes.
I get that. And I'm not going to sit here and say, doesn't happen in my house. That would be a lie.
It's probably a reflex thing, because you know in that moment of anger, that's how you feel.
Yes.
You might not end up doing, but you felt it, yes.
Because sometimes I'm like, I think we're living in an era that there's just a lot. We are unlearning, we're writing new scripts, we're trying to do things that we perceive were not correct, we're trying to do them right. And then there's this concept here, gentle parenting. I'm like, no, this gentle parenting is not going to work. How do we find now this new model that we're trying to build? We build it, it's a Maya.
Yes, we build it as it's walking, as it's running, as it's rolling, as the wheels are turning. You're building it, and it's very, very tough. And we need to give ourselves the grace.
Yeah.
When you feel overwhelmed, to say we need grace, because we also are learning as we go. But society expects you to be the perfect mother. I agree, you wanted kids. The prim and proper parent.
I'll tell
you must know what to do.
I'll tell you a story, girl. It was an innocent conversation I was having with someone, and I said, it was Mother's Day, and like my kids just carried on as if Mother's Day was not Mother's Day. And I became vulnerable and spoke about it. I'm like, I'm not actually very happy that, these kids, Mother's Day, like Mother's Day. And funny enough, the response from the person that I was sharing this with was, and I'm like, why society never the expectations? Who said my kids have to carry themselves in a certain manner?
Your kids are not your kids who we think are perfect kids.
I think she was shy of saying
they're perfect kids. Your kids are so good, so perfect. You know what I'm saying?
And I was like, this is a kick pressure. Because now you start saying, somebody's watching how I'm parenting. Now they must look like this, they must act like this, they must do this. And yet I'm also unlearning, because obviously there's a lot of things. Now my inner child must be prim and proper.
She wants bum shots.
She wants to show up. She wants to be happy. Happy soul.
Yes. Because she never got a chance to do that when she was 3 years old. So as per tradition, I serve my guests food. And today we have hearty meal for winter. Yes, I've got some lamb stew and with sweet potato mash. My favorite sweet potato, the orange sweet type. Yeah, because I can my sweets in that bunch. So
that's your sweet.
Yes, some of my sweets. And sorry, I love broccoli, so broccoli has to feature. Broccoli has to feature. Yeah. Would you like some sweet potato? Yeah, please teach me some guests.
This looks lovely.
Yes, but in my house, you must eat first, because I'm being a prim and proper host. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. And some hearty lamb stew in a hearty pot.
Oh, that's so thoughtful.
Yes. So take as much as you want. Ili captain do wana kuru wona kutla mwana rubula kali captain.
Captain, but wala di captain.
Captain. We cooked muyentanga ngishije ka wena.
Ke yona ke. Oh, this is divine.
Courtesy of Auntie B, I ain't gonna lie and say I cooked this food. I put in a request and then I went to work.
Yeah.
Because I had to go to work and come. Yeah, so.
Have to do what you have to do.
Exactly.
Looks lovely, Shin.
Baraki broccoli or broccoli?
It's broccoli.
Broccoli. It's same broccoli.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm gonna need something to wipe.
Okay, fine. Do you want something on the... What should we do?
Wait.
Okay, it's fine, Claire. I get it. Here we go.
The food looks yummy.
Mm.
Looks yummy.
Looks yummy, yummy. Yummy, yummy in my tummy. Mm. Nothing beats lunch, you guys. I said, it's now why I want to be vegetarian. Or vegan. Like, I just love lamb. Like, I'm vegan, I'll eat lamb now and then.
Yeah.
I'll be there. There was a thing on Netflix that says the fake vegan, something like that. Or filthy vegan, something like that, like, or bad vegan. That's the thing.
But then lamb, you won't eat it all the time.
You know, I'm a beauty range in general. I'm just happy eating my vegetables. So after this lady says to you, not your kids, how does this conversation end? Do you take it back home? Do you talk to the kids about it? Do you speak to the kids about it? Or that day you were not okay about them not doing anything to begin with? Or you just vented to your friend?
So I was sharing with a friend during the week after Mother's Day.
Oh, okay.
But on Mother's Day, I just allowed the day to unfold and clearly, you know, and it's not necessarily a big deal, right? You get Mother's Day.
Yes.
But as a single mom, I think, and I'm not trying to burden my kids because single mother now turns over a trophy. No. But I'm just saying pause and acknowledge really she's trying. So anyway, I let it go the following week on Sunday. So we've got prayer sessions at my house at 8 o'clock. During prayer, I'm like, okay, fine. So I'm gonna use the Bible and go into Proverbs and anyway. Then I give everybody a turn to share what is their, you know, understanding of the scripture, and then they said whatever they wanted to say. And I said, last week nearly Mother's Day. And guys, I mean, I make sure at least
Just something. It's the thought, right? You wanted to see what there was a thought behind it. Yes.
Thought. And oh, my one daughter said, "Oh, Mama, I actually forgot. I thought about it when I saw other people's statuses." And I'm like, and then when you saw them, and then no, she like
nothing.
Like, no, we continue. And I actually said, you know, this is now me unlearning and learning new things. I'm going to communicate my expectations. Take a moment to pause. I celebrate birthdays. I go big on your birthdays. Pause. I'm not telling you obviously. If there's anything, don't take it funny. But pause and acknowledge me on that day. Mother's Day, I'm pausing. You know, just acknowledge.
Write a note.
I go.
Even if it's on a blank piece of paper. I didn't get you a gift, but I am thinking of you.
Let me tell you. So the message landed. The following year, Mother's Day. The small one, only you can me. Mother's Day, I she never make a trauma. I'm like, but now you're not doing it in a nice way. You're trying to say, she's like, the way you were so hurt. I will never forget. I'll never miss Mother's Day. I'd rather miss your birthday, but Mother's Day, because wow, Mama, you were really hurt. And I'm like, no, it's a question of just take a moment, pause, acknowledge your action, and that's it.
But then the way I would think that and how about the trauma is like you expressing how you feel is trauma for her.
But it's because they are allowed gentle parenting, allowing them to have that space to communicate freely. But when I communicate the expectations, it's like, yo, mama.
So even the free communication must be one way.
And unfortunately, I allowed it. So mama gets sleepy, she's strong, she doesn't have feelings, she doesn't complain. The only thing that you must give mama is the results.
And that's not what you want, right?
But I'm a human being. I keep saying to them, but
this blood flowing here. Yes.
Can I have a hug? I also feel like,
can I also have a hug?
Exactly.
There's moments when I want a hug for me.
Exactly.
Not to be your mother, but to feel that human interaction, contact. I want that love transferred without saying I love you. I want to feel it.
So communicating the expectations helped me. Okay, this is what I expect. Now they're doing it. Whether I answer because I don't know, I'm upset. They're doing it.
Either way, it works because then you have met expectations, and they're also learning to serve you in the way that they're speaking to you in a language that you understand. In terms of this is how I want this is how love for my children looks like.
It's once a year. Just pause. And they share mama, that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and obviously I'm saying if they are mothers in the future, they need to learn to communicate expectations because it's one communication. So yeah, it's very tricky.
But we don't grow up in an era where you communicate as a child. Children were seen and not heard. Children did what parents expected. Exactly. You only spoke if you were hungry. Because that's what our parents knew. That was love for them. Legele. Have you eaten? You know what I'm saying? And then for us, it was inadequate because
absolutely.
I remember the first time I hugged my mother. I've never hugged my father until I was an adult.
And but
the first time I hugged my mother, it was very awkward. And I did it in a very awkward manner. Give other kids at boarding school being hugged when they left. And I kind of like reached. And then I put my arms around her, and then, I didn't say, can I have a hug? I just hugged, and she didn't know what it was. You were hugging a rock. And I don't blame her, because we never did that.
But can I ask you something? So my brother once said to me, hey, Abakadi, I don't know how you're raising your kids. How come your kids have, they know how to express themselves?
And I can relate to that, because now I can probably count not more than a hand how many times I've heard my father say I love you, and it was never an individualist I love you. Mainly, like my children, you know how much I love you, kind of thing. And it's not a blame on him. That's how he grew up, and the way he showed love that is tangible for me was. You must go to school, I must educate you, I must give you food.
And I'm present.
I'm in the house.
Yes.
Presence of physical presence in the house. And other presence, presence can be broadly defined, but I'm here but I'm educating you, I'm feeding you.
Yes.
You want for nothing of your basic needs. On the other emotional needs is something else. Exactly. That is what they knew. So I can't be like angry forever at my father for not telling me he loves me and he can give me hugs. And, you know what I'm saying? So it goes back to the whole car model thing. We are the new models, guys. And then our kids are the newer models after us.
Yeah.
So even when they show up in a way that seems like I'll be like, hey, what's going on here? What is this model doing? It's malfunctioning. No, we should then tap in and say, what are we needing to put in to this model to improve it? Exactly. What is the input you need to give instead of being defensive on some, now I'm the old model, you don't want me anymore, my ways are old. Let's observe and learn what the new model is bringing to us, So I think it's just, but I mean, the whole upbringing of ours, how we are as people in general, and then end up being as parents, for those of us who are parents, everything weaves, is woven into each other. As long as, but I think what heals is the fact that the awareness. And I mean, like, we look back at our parents and say they only knew what they knew. They were where they were. Okay, sure, they felt for their parents could have done better.
Absolutely. And that's why some of the decisions that they made in terms of we expose you to this kind of a life, it's because they were like, no,
we can improve.
Absolutely.
Exactly. They didn't make us go.
No, absolutely.
At the era that my parents grew in, it was a thing of boys must go be herd boys in Badishe, do whatever. And then my parents were like, education.
Why what?
You know what I'm saying?
So
And then we are like, emotional intelligence, wholesomeness.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think wholesomeness is quite critical because I think there's a concept there about hurt people hurt other people.
Exactly.
So if moto ali emotionally that
Wholeness.
you know, they are mindful of their feelings and mindful of the next person's feelings.
And not to say we have reached the pinnacle of actualization as parents, or we have given our kids wholesomeness.
Yeah.
But the fact that we are aware, we are hopefully doing less damage, so to speak, or we are actually maybe not use the negative part of it. The positive would be we are giving more tools and allowing more space for that expansion of emotional bandwidth.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I like talking about legacies, and I don't want to feel like we were bashing what our parents tried.
Because it's not that.
It's not.
It's not that.
And there are learnings as well that we don't necessarily want to unlearn because they are good.
Exactly.
So take the good and move with it, and then what you perceive to be this one, I don't want it, I want to unlearn it, then that's the one that you set aside. But it's not easy.
I think it's the nature of being human.
Yeah.
That we gravitate to that which we either know because we're scared of the unknown, or whatever feels familiar and comfortable.
Absolutely. It's true.
And the comfortable does not necessarily mean that it's good or necessary. For example, not having conversations, you are avoiding the conflict that you think will come, which might not come if you start the conversation. The conflict might not come, but when you're sitting there overthinking, that if I say, Mama, I didn't like this, like, hey, I'm grateful.
And sometimes Baba defensively, but one you turned out fine.
But I've had a conversation with my mom, which I didn't know how it was going to turn out, and it didn't end up in the tone of you turned out fine in the Pisha. She was like, thank you for bringing this to my attention. I didn't know you felt this way. I didn't know doing this made you feel this way or have landed you up ending up in the way that you are in this regard. Not in a bad way. For example, we always joke and say, firstborn daughters, we can't ask for help and things like that. It is a bad thing, actually, because then you will drown only one. It's something, it's a big, not a bad thing, it's a huge challenge. It's a constant area of development for me.
Mara,
you know what I'm saying?
It spills over to siblings who think, but we're not over sharp.
Because you've seen you most.
We're not over sharp. You are.
Yeah. So although it may serve you in the corporate where you are trailblazer, it doesn't always serve you when you actually do need help in other aspects of your life and you can't ask for help. And having that conversation, because I've had this conversation with my mom once I'm listening, because I grew up like this, I struggle with, and she's like, well, I didn't know what me giving you tools to thrive in life, because remember our parents primarily was like, that's one thing, don't be dependent on people.
Yes.
Be self-sufficient, be independent. Without saying, but please realize, you are human and you might need help. So be self-sufficient and independent in this section of your life. At work, push, get the results you want to go get this, push, but don't you push to the point of burnout? No, but we didn't get that part. That part was silent. You know what I'm saying?
Even them, they were probably pushing, they were hiding emotions if they were.
But they were. But
if there was burnout, we would never know. I mean, I've never seen my mom saying, I can't do this.
But our parents don't come from the background or time when they were allowed to. They were fighting apartheid and raising kids from different provinces, and their challenges were very different. Yeah. Not that our struggle is not valid compared to theirs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when you understand yourself, you're able to see the other person in a different, with empathy.
Yeah.
And also extend the same grace you want your kids to extend to you, or people that you're doing life with to extend to you. You can extend back to them to say, okay, if my kids must know that I'm not perfect as a parent, then I must also tell my parents, I know you're not perfect as a parent. And you did your best, and you got a level.
Yes, for that.
And that's where healing comes from, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So Nerobe like a premium proper spoke about healing. We spoke about our parents.
Because they're the ones who made us prim and proper.
We spoke about us.
They're the ones who made us prim and proper.
As parents, this new vehicle that we're trying to build while it's in transit. Yeah,
while the wheels are turning, like, hey, here's the part.
I love legacy stories.
Okay.
And I want to believe for everything else, there's that string, even if it's just inyana that speaks to. This is actually my legacy. It's a legacy that my dad, my mom, whoever passed it on to me, and this one, I want to pass it on to my kids. What would that be in your mind?
For my kids, I'm gonna go back to wholesomeness.
Yeah.
I don't want, I would like for my kids to not do life bleeding onto people. They are hurt and whatever, because whether it's life events with me or the world, just being alive in the world, things are going to happen.
Absolutely.
Right? So I would like for them to be well equipped to recognize that things do happen and happen to everybody. Don't internalize everything and personalize everything.
Yes.
And to have healthy boundaries that make them not suffer unnecessarily because of other people.
Yeah.
And to use the tools I have hopefully given them and they've grasped and held on to them to navigate life in that way. I'm not here saying my kids must be accountants, must be whatever. My kids must just be self-sustainable. You know, they need to not coming to me and asking for my money because then like
Yes.
at some point when I stop paying school fees. So I just want them to be wholesome people. I don't want to say happy. Their happiness comes when you do life the way that you want to do it.
Yeah. I like that because I think for me, I want them to understand that there's no competition. You move at your own pace. You do what you want to do as long as it feels right,
authentic.
But also mindfulness, because you don't want them to just cruise this life thing. Be mindful. Be mindful of certain things, and communicate. I like what you said, that the expectation is not, you know, I also don't have that. It's like, you choose what you want to do, I will support it, but there must be a time where you must run on your own and run at your own pace as a competition in this thing. And happiness will come if you're running your own race, your own rules. You've set them up yourself and you are accountable to yourself. The rest we will watch. Okay, she's moving in the right direction. And when you need help, come communicate.
When you need help, yes. Come back home.
Absolutely.
Here's always home, where the heart is the heart of mother. For as long as I'm alive, come back. Let's even if it's just to say, I don't know my child, but you know what? Do you want a hug?
That's it. Because sometimes you don't know.
You don't know.
Sometimes you don't know. It's not what I mean. That conversation I have with my mom, and she said, I don't know. You're like, I don't know it.
You need to figure it out. But the fact that you were actually able to have the space and time with her to say that, it gave you the comfort that you needed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for her to say, I don't know, it's okay.
It's definitely okay, because we also don't know what we're doing. We are finding out as we go. Yeah, so my heart is full.
I'm glad.
Because it's you who I met when I was a little baby. We met when we were little babies, and you just come full circle.
And how weird is it that we had a full-on conversation now? We missed so many parts of our lives.
But as we picked up where we left off, it never felt weird. It never felt like, I haven't seen you in 10 years.
Yeah, I get sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I hope it's speaking to the fact that when you're meant to do life with people, and I'm so grateful that you are in my life, and that even when we reconnected, it was never we didn't connect for so long, and now you think my friend kind of thing. We just literally picked it up from where we left off. Whether we are helping connected by the threads of Mpahlele from our other side, or whatever it is, whether it was a Victoria Girls' High thing, or whatever it is, whether it's being mothers, whatever it is, here we are. And I'm just so grateful that between your work commitments, catching the winter viruses, we didn't cancel you. Yeah, I guess it's my thing though, because even my previous guest who had a bout of flu, he came just to have the chat with me. So to doing life navigating life and learning as we go. I hope that we always, as long as have an open mind to do that, you know. And so it's so good to see what people we have the same struggles, and then we're not shy to share and therefore help each other along.
Absolutely.
And this is the help. This is the help we didn't even ask from each other. It's kind of the help that we ask from each other. Your mohawk hairstyle. They're like, this is nice. You're like, oh no, that's why yeah. So thank you so much for your time.
And thank you for having me. The food was lovely.
The food is
So you
lovely.
don't food to my
Of course.
the food is very nice.
And you can take cup tea.
This was lovely. I think, you know, conversations like these are healing.
And I'm a healer.
Thank you, boy. Healer.
Exactly. Thank you everybody for tuning in and staying till the end. Please share with other people so they can also relate, learn, heal, unlearn, and all of that stuff. Dr. Lovelee on Life on YouTube, Dr_Lovelee on all other platforms, being Facebook, Instagram, and X. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you at the next episode.